G'day chaps, and welcome back to my Elite Dangerous Power Play. Now, we were just looking at the expansion systems. In the first episode we'd realized that as this is the new release of Power Play, there's no point doing any of the preparation missions. All of the systems that are there for preparation have already crossed the threshold, so there's actually no point doing that in this cycle, as it's the first release cycle of Power Play. So we're going to move on to expansion and control. First thing we need to do is just understand what the hell's going on here, because it is quite complex. Power Play is quite complicated. Let's dive into expansion first. This is rather more straightforward. There are three systems that we're expanding into, so these have already been prepared. And as we can see, it's fairly straightforward. We have our target, we have our progress already, expansion progress here. We have our ongoing total. Total is 226, the trigger is 1321. Expansion cannot occur until trigger is reached. And the opposition, so this is what opposing powers can do to try and stop us expanding into it. Nothing has happened yet, again, because this is the first cycle. So this is something we can do. I reckon we should try this first, and in later episodes we can come back to control. This is rather more complicated. Some of our systems that we already control are under threat, which means the other powers are trying to undermine us. And as you can see here, this one looks like we're going to make it okay. This one's looking rather more worrying. And we can see on the map in just a second, I'll come back to this, we can see where those are, so we can look at the map, we can decide which of these systems are most worthwhile holding onto, which of these are going to be worth letting go. And in this instance, this one, Sanos, is under threat. Cost if undermined, 86. This would be the least worth defending, if that makes sense, because it will cost us the least CC if it does get undermined. If it does get undermined, it goes into it becomes unstable. I forget the name that Frontier used for this, but it becomes unstable, and then in the next cycle, it can revolt, and then depending on player action, if it's supported or not, a revolting system, truly revolting, will be lost, and we lose the income from that. So if we were to lose this one here, for example, Sanos, this would be the least loss to our power. In terms of fortifying, these are the ones here that they've already crossed the threshold for the most part, and because it's the first cycle, there's been no opposition. Oh, this one has. Interesting. Undermining. Okay. So if we're going to come back to this later, Skegiko 0. What a name. That will be worth fortifying and making sure that the opposition doesn't undermine that. I remember from the notes that if our power were to... Sorry, I'm just resetting my timer here because I want to make sure this episode doesn't go on too long. If our power crossed the threshold here, and then the opposing power also crossed the threshold in terms of undermining, then the two would cancel each other out and nothing would happen. So that would be fine. So in the case of this system here, we just need to make sure that we cross the threshold, and then if the opposition crossed the threshold as well, nothing happens and we don't need to care anymore. Namte, now I've actually been playing with this system a lot. This has been I've been trading to prepare for Power Play, just getting a little bit of extra cash. This system is actually one of my favorites, and it's a very good trade system. So on top of the cost if undermined, I would say that for trading purposes this is quite important to us. So I may come back to this and try and support that later. This one has also crossed the threshold, so we don't even need to think about that. These others down here under threat, these are all ones that haven't even begun to be fortified yet. Yeah. So these are, and then these are ones down the bottom where no action at all has happened at all. Just out of curiosity, let's have a look at the map. Now, in the map, under the power play view, you have the overview here. It just shows which powers are where. We have expansion. We looked at that in part 1. That shows the numbered, the 1 to 10 of which systems we will be preparing to expand into next time. These are 1 to 10 on this list here. Now, this target, I think, I'm going to have to come back to this, but I think that means another power may be targeting it, so we may have to return to that. But for the moment, let's just stick with control. Control, these shields mean fortifying. Let's see if we can find Namte. I'm going to have to go back. This is a... If they could control, here we go. Okay, so let's take Namte as an example. Oh no, that's crossed the threshold. I'll take, what was the other we were looking at? Let's take, this one's important. Cost if undermined quite a lot. Fusang, let's have a look at this on the map. Okay. So, controlled by Felicia Winters, distance from HQ 31. And that's important because the further you are from HQ, the higher the cost of that control system is. So, there are progressive limits to how much a power can expand. Profit, 67 per week. Fortification, 49%. So this is worth fortifying if we think it's important. This is, from the looks of it, pretty much right smack bang in the middle of our power space. And not really something we need to worry about, I think. The other thing with this system is it's pretty close to the threshold already of being fortified, so I'm not going to bother with this. These targets, we have 3 of these. These are the ones that we are trying to expand into at the moment. Just going to double check that that's the case. Expansion, yes, okay, so these are the targeted. Nugurgira. What a name. Pepper. That's a good name. Nugurgira. Pepper and Achilles. Achilles heel. Expansion task, ties that bind. Collect liberal federal aid from contacts in controlled systems. So that could be any controlled system, I think. Deliver them to this system to further shadow President Felicia Winters' plans for expansion. Time remaining 6 days. What day is it today? Saturday here in Australia. It's overnight, Friday night in the UK. So that means that... Okay, so the weekly cycle that Powerplay operates on is going to be Friday to Friday, which makes sense. You start a new cycle Saturday, so everyone can jump online, play all weekend, and then yeah, it kind of plays out through the course of the week. That's pretty good thinking on Frontier's part. So let's have a look. Potential value 77cc, 52cc for Pepper, and Achilles 37cc. So these are in order of value. So I'm going to go for Nagorgara. I'm going to make sure that we expand into this. Let's see where it is on the map. It's at the edge of space, edge of our power space rather. I wish I could turn all these other systems off. They kind of get in the way of the view. But they're in... Let's just take a look at... let's take a look at the... No, that's not working. What I want to look at is... No. Not that. Alright, so I want to look at the power play. Ah, here we go. That's what I want to see. So I want to look at the overview. We're looking at Ngorgara. Where is it? Is it a good system to expand into? Looks like it to me. Looks like it's not critical. It's not bordering any other power. It's important in terms of bordering other powers, because if we control a system, another power cannot expand into that system until they've successfully undermined it and it's revolted. So another power actually has to do a lot of work to take over a system that we already control. Let's just have a look at where the other two are. This one here, Sanos, is not bordering any other power, so that's less important, I think. Let's just have a look at this one here, LP whatever. That one is also not really bordering any other, so it seems like it doesn't really matter at this stage. It's early days for power play, so this one, I'm just looking here. When we look at oh, where are we? Oh, I'm going to need to zoom in. It's not actually highlighting properly. Alright, now I'm confused. V902 Centauri. This is that the one on the list? Expansion. It's not the one on the list. That's why I'm confused. Let's try again. Okay, so alright, that is the one we were looking at. Okay. That was a little confusing. The name changed. Alright. So I'm just trying to decide. I'm looking here because we have this system here, Ngorgara, and this is going to be put under threat by the powers below down here. Now these, as I understand it, these are empire powers, so they're going to be pretty strong and they're going to expand pretty quickly. The other one down here, Achilles, this is closer to... whose space is this? How can I do this? Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm trying to look at this. I'll go into overview. Here we go. I'm looking at... no, okay, this map's a little tricky to operate. What I'm trying to do is highlight... ah, here we go. So, this space here is controlled by the independent Li Yong-rui, who actually controls quite a lot of space. Right, let's just make a decision. I'm going to go for the power that's for the system that's closest to the Empire's space. I think the Empire are going to expand more quickly than other powers, so it's from a strategic point of view. We want expansion. From a strategic point of view, this is going to be the most important for us. So I'm going to choose Ngorgara. So today we're going to try and expand into this system. It makes the most command capital, so it's financially the most worthwhile for us, and it strategically also the most worthwhile for us. So let's take this as our choice. Expansion task, ties that bind. Collect liberal federal aid from contacts in controlled systems. Deliver them to the system to further her plans. So we need to figure out what is the closest control system to Ngorgara. I'm just going to make a note of this name so I don't need to keep on going back and checking. Ngorgara. So what we need to do then is go back and figure out what is the closest control system to this. Because obviously the fewer jumps we have to make, the better. I'm also wondering too, is it worth combining trade with power actions? Now this is something I've not really thought of before. Because in this instance, okay, so our power mission is to take this information or propaganda from a control system to the one we're trying to expand into. What I'm thinking, is it worth combining trade with this so we can not only do power tasks but make cash at the same time? Now that to me seems like the ideal. So let's go check out this one first. This is the, just from looking at the map here, this looks like the closest to Nagulgara. And let's get cracking then. Oh, I like this. 5 jumps to destination. Oh, this is new. So I'm looking under destination here. Papis sector, whatever. 5 jumps to Charunda. Now, there should be a new feature, which I'm really happy about, where you can go, you can not only choose the system you want to jump to, you can also go into the system map, choose exactly where you want to jump to inside the map, and it looks like it's bugged, which is a shame. They had this problem with the beta, and it looks like it's still an issue. Oh, bloody hell, what's going on? The only way I found to actually deal with this is to, unfortunately, you have to hit escape and you have to go back to the screen. If we can't access this again from here... Oh, interesting. See what kind of economy it is. Agricultural economy. Ugh. That's not good. Won't be good for trading. What's the other control system that was close? So we want to expand into... Sorry if there's not much action yet, but I'm just this kind of player. I am going to analyze the shit out of this first, so that I don't waste my time today. LHS 160. Let's just have a quick look at what kind of system this is economically. Ah, now that's an extraction system. The one we just looked at, the other one, was agricultural. Agriculture is terrible for trading, whereas extraction can be very good, because you can pick up precious metals. Let's see if we can actually access the system map this time. No, it doesn't look like it. Ah, that's a shame. Oh, yeah. Ah, good. Whoa, this thing's massive. This system's enormous. Oh my god. Okay, John Orbital, arrival point 38,000 light seconds from... That means you're going to have to travel like half an hour just to get there after landing in the system, so we don't want to... That's a Federation... It's a Federation starport. Oh, these are 36,000 light seconds from... So this system, even though it's controlled, is actually not worth visiting at all, because you jump in and you're going to have to travel. You're going to have to travel half an hour just to get to a station to pick up the mission. Alright, so that's not worth visiting. Let's see if we can actually have a look at Charunda. Come on, work. Good. Ah, this is much smaller. Better, better, better. Okay, these are corporate governments. These are commodities, outfitting, shipyards. Ooh, there's a metal-rich source here. I do want to have a try of mining. I haven't actually given it a try yet. Ah, it's also got some interesting independent dictatorships in here, which means there may be some naughties flying around. Right, let's just pick the closest Federation port to here. Select that. I'm going to plot the route to this actual station. It's got outfitting, shipyard, and commodities. Done. And we know where we're going. We know why we're going there. Finally, we can actually leave. Jesus. Sorry, boys. I know it's taken a long time. Let's get into actually doing something here. A little bit long-winded. Ooh. Some new sounds in this in the port. Just check there's no traffic above us. Collisions will cost you money now, so we need to be extra careful.
Ship released.
Landing gear up.
Landing gear retracted.
Oh god, you see? There's an eagle that just passed us. Now you will get done for speeding if you hit another ship now, so that's new. So we've got to be a little bit careful. I'm just going to take it out nice and slow because we're really close to the post box anyway. And now we can go for it. Now I've tried to maximize my ASP 4 jumps, so it should be pretty close for us. Shouldn't be too far for us to get there. Where are we? Here we go. Just wanted to show you my jump range, 25.45, which is very good. I don't think I've got any cargo on board, no. Yeah, my balance is 3 million. Not too high. Friendly with the Federation. I'm a warrant officer, so not very high. I'm a merchant in trading, which is most of what I've been doing up till now. I've done some combat, but very, very little. I've not really focused on it. And as an explorer, I've done nothing whatsoever.
Frameshift drive charging.
And this kind of goes back to the fact that, like I was saying, I stopped playing for a while. Kind of just lost interest in the game. I'm not like other people. I can't just grind at a game. And this game is very grindy if you want to level up. I can't just grind unless I've got something to work towards. If I'm really motivated towards hitting a goal, I will grind. And I'm happy to. And I do actually find I find space trucking quite relaxing. So I enjoy just jumping on for maybe an hour and transporting goods from A to B. But yeah, there's got to be a bigger purpose. And up till this point in time, Elite Dangerous didn't really have it for me. I played the game a lot in the beginning because I just needed to get up to a ship that was worth having, and the ASP for me was that level. Things like a Cobra, while being an all-rounder and a good all-rounder, was too small. You're like a minnow in a world of sharks. And other ships like the Eagle or the Viper or let's say the Hauler or even the Type 6, they were too specialized to be worth keeping on a more permanent basis. Whereas I love the ASP. The ASP, and actually I'm going to give you a look at the ASP in just a second. The ASP is a great all-rounder. It can fight, it can defend itself, and I've got this kitted out pretty well for fighting. And it can travel, big jump range, and I've got 96 cargo space, so can do everything I need it to do. And once I got to this ship, I just didn't really see any point carrying on in terms of grinding it out until now, because with Powerplay, fantastic, I've got a reason to really get back into the game again and have some fun. Now I'm going to do one more jump and then I'm going to call it a day here. I'm going to start the next episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
3, 2, 1.
We're just getting into Powerplay at the moment. It took me a long time to figure out what we wanted to do today, but This is a massive update to the game. Changes it so drastically that I really wanted to make sure I got my head around it first. And just as we finish, let's have a quick look at my ship. Just want to. Let's have a quick. Hey, what's going on? Ooh, it's dark. Ooh, look at that. Wow, that's pretty special. Should have my paint job. Nope, can't see a paint job. Oh yeah, there you can. White and blue is what we have. And I love this ship. I really do. Should be a figure in the cockpit now. Perhaps not. Should be. Let's see if we can get close enough to see. I can't actually zoom in any... Oh, I can. Here we go. Let's see, do we have a figure in the cockpit? No, we don't. We're supposed to... They said they were going to add that. That's a shame. I was certain there was going to be a player in there. Right. Oh, there is a player in there. It's just extremely dark. Oh wow, wearing all black. Look at that. That's stunning. Wow. Okay, on that bombshell. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in part 2 when we explore a little bit more of what Powerplay has to offer. Thank you guys. See you in the next one.